Oh man. Oh, okay, here we go. What's up with all these companies now turning all these IPs that are now public domain into horror movies? It makes no sense. So today we obviously are going to be talking about Popeye the Slayer, man. This movie is going to be directed by Robert Michael Ryan. The story follows a group of friends who decide to sneak into an abandoned spinach factory to film a documentary on Sailor Man, who is said to haunt local docks and factories. Okay, here we go.
What the hell is all this stuff for?
It's the equipment I checked out for my documentary.
Documentary?
Is that pirate man thing you were going on about in class?
Sailor Man. Tonight's the last night we can get inside.
They're, aware of the charming stories circulating about this place.
I don't believe in ghost stories.
He's not a ghost. The
Oh,
Sailor
shit.
Man is real.
Oh, I thought that was Popeye. Oh my god.
He
Look what
doesn't
they've done
take
to my
kindly
boy.
to visitors stopping on his doorstep.
Jesus Christ.
She's just doing some school project, and why won't she just pick the phone up?
Oh yeah? What should I do?
She said they're going to be at the old candy factory, right? Let's go down there.
Do you know why the factory closed down 20 years ago? There was a spinach contamination.
What the hell? No.
I am what I am.
Jesus Christ. Well, there you have it, folks. Popeye horror movie. Oh my god. So this is Popeye the Slayer, man. It's a new horror feature exploring the alternate backstory for a legendary sailor who will be unleashed sometime next year. And as it says here on bloodydisgusting.com, this is actually one of 2 Popeye horror movies in the works, which we will talk about because I'm gonna make this video about both of them. I grew up watching the black and white Popeye movies. Popeye was a big cartoon that me and my siblings would watch with our parents. Popeye holds a special place in our hearts, so for them to be turning it into a horror movie, it's kind of ridiculous. I only say that because the problem that I have with this, and I think a lot of people would agree, and don't get me wrong, but Popeye being a slayer does sound dope. But if he's slaying like zombies, which I heard a lot of people saying would be a good alternate story to this, instead of him slaying fucking humans, which doesn't make any sense at all, unless the spinach that's contaminated in this factory is now giving him brain worms or whatever and turning him into this psycho killer with these huge fucking forearms, which, god man, just looking at these, let's look at this real quick. Looking at these set photos, just the way he looks, like his face, yeah, it's like reminiscent of Popeye, but the way his face looks is clearly a mask. To me, it looks like the mask that Ryan Gosling wore in the movie Drive, and I think that's why it's throwing me off so much, because it feels like it's just a guy who put on this Popeye costume in the movie to go around being this person instead of this being Popeye himself, I guess, if that makes sense. But I do gotta hand it to them that they are using practical effects. As we saw in the trailer, we got a lot of the practical blood. I know the producer said that they wanted to stay away from CGI as much as possible, which I will hand it to them. Really cool. I love when movies do that, and I love that they are taking that route rather than just making it some CGI shitfest. Got some stills here of the characters themselves, but yeah, then you got these other stills of Popeye in the background just being super menacing, just stalking his prey or whatever. It's not shot relatively bad, and I'm not gonna give anything on the cinematography, but it's just like little things like this, like the blood looks very orange, not really bloody. They could have done a little bit better with that, I think. But again, just practical effects just goes a long way with these kinds of movies. No matter how shitty this movie is gonna be, and we all know it's gonna be completely terrible because the story obviously is gonna be complete trash, but you gotta hand it to them. They are kind of making it a relatively decent looking movie. I just hope the story kind of justifies it all in some kind of way. Let's be honest, it probably won't, but one can only dream. And then you got the poster here. He is what he is, Popeye the Slayer, man. But again, just going back to the concept of this, making Popeye a slayer of humans makes no fucking sense to me at all. It's just plain stupid, if you ask me, and it just seems kind of just cheap, you know, because obviously these people are making these childhood characters, these beloved characters, into these horror villains. Nothing like Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers type, even though that's what this feels like. We'll get into all of that in the second Popeye movie that we'll be talking about in this video, but I feel like that's kind of where they're going with this. It makes no sense to me to turn a character that's so beloved like Popeye into a horror movie. It doesn't make any sense. And kind of like the TCU, the Twisted Childhood Universe with the Poonaverse, you'll see a lot of that, like a lot of these cartoon characters now becoming these killers, and it's just that, and it just seems kind of redonkulous, you know what I mean? Although I would love to see this if he was going up against Bluto or whatever, and that's the person that he's trying to slay, because Bluto now became this like giant entity that now Popeye has to go and defeat, right? Like that would make a lot more sense to me, and I think I would love this even more. But here we are with this movie coming out and making Popeye just, you know, whatever. But Damon, I think you're being a little bit too harsh on this movie, and you've only just seen the trailer. Yes, but again, the track record these movies have with making these beloved characters into killing monsters is just kind of played out. And I get it, making these characters extremely separate from their nice and loving counterparts sounds cool on paper, but a whole half-assed movie about it? And I know it seems weird me just getting overly upset about this, but I mean, come on, man, I would just love to see one of these movies excuse me, I just came off of being sick. I just want to see one of these movies actually be good. This one is obviously going to be a terrible one. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt that it's not going to be, but you know, again, we're talking about Popeye the Sailor Man, who is now Popeye the Slayer Man, so let's be real, it ain't going to be that great of a fucking movie, right? You know, it looks like they're going in the right direction when it comes to making these type of movies good, but it's just, let's just stop and think, does it need to be a horror movie? It could have just been another live action Popeye movie like the Robin Williams one, and I know not a lot of people would have wanted that anyway, but I'm just saying they could have done something completely different in the horror aspect of things. Like they could have just made it like Abraham Vampire Slayer or whatever type, you know, just taking this character and making it a rated R movie, yes, and super bloody and super gory or whatever, but making him still be the hero of his story and defeating vampires or zombies or alien creatures or something like that. Or since it is Popeye, maybe some sea creatures or some shit like that. Just something stupid off the top of my head. I think that would be way fucking better. But real quick, I just want to say, like, yes, these movies do suck and they are cheap cash grabs, but I'm genuinely loving them only because it reminds me of the cheap movies that I would see in my video rental shop, where I would go into the back where the horror section was, pick up the VHS and just be looking at it like, Puppet Master, what the fuck is this? Is this kind of like the Pinocchio movie I just saw or whatever? Because I was probably like 8 and just seeing movies made like that with the most wildest ideas, those movies weren't that great either, but at least they had their own original concepts, and that's what these movies kind of remind me of, minus the originality. But at the end of the day, it is just brainless rot for us to just enjoy, so yeah. But anyway, moving on to the next Popeye movie here. So jumping back into bloodydisgusting.com, we have exclusive images, gory and raunchy Popeye horror movie coming in early 2025. Here we see an image, kind of looks like Bruce Willis. I don't know if it's just me, but when I first saw this, I was like, is that Bruce Willis? But yeah, we got a behind the scenes of Popeye with his bloody sailor's outfit, and we see the camera here in the foreground, and it's an actual person, not a CGI person, which again is very great. He has the massively big forearm, so you know, we're off to a good start. He doesn't have the chin, it doesn't look like, so minus points for that. The latest iconic public domain character to get a twisted horror movie is Popeye. Bloody Disgusting has learned with ITN Studios, which is also the studios that are doing the Poonaverse movies, is currently hard at work on their horror movie Popeye, expected to chew spinach and tear apart bodies in January 2025. ITN's Popeye is not connected to the Twisted Childhood universe known as Poonaverse, making it very clear that this isn't part of that universe, so sad day. Renee August is producing the Popeye horror movie, with William Steed directing, described as a raunchy and gory slasher. Here's the first official plot synopsis for the film. The legend of Popeye haunts a group of counselors as they intend to open a summer camp, very reminiscent of Jason Voorhees and Camp Crystal Lake. Stephen Murphy plays Popeye in the upcoming horror movie, and Bloody Disgusting has been exclusively provided with a gallery of first look images of the beefed up slasher maniac. Expect a trailer and release date soon. Stay tuned, sailors. And as we go over these stills, you'll see that this is very reminiscent of the Friday the 13th franchise and Jason Voorhees. Just like with this first still here, we have Popeye coming out from under the dock, very Jason Voorhees style. And then again, we have him with his anchor that it looks like he's about to go and kill this person. And in the next one, of course, he has now captured this person. And I'm just gonna say, I do love the way this Popeye looks as opposed to the other one, which just looks like a whole body bodysuit that guy was wearing. This one is actually a guy, and the only prosthetics that it looks like he's wearing is his forearm prosthetics. Then we have him here in the silhouette, and then we got another one with his iconic pipe that hopefully he will chew spinach out from, which would be amazing if that happens in this movie. Yeah, that's going to be the end of the stills here, but you know, again, we will be getting a trailer soon, hopefully very, very soon, and when that comes out, I will for sure be doing a reaction on that trailer as it does come out, because I am very much looking forward to these movies. Like I said in the beginning of this video, Popeye has been one of those characters that me and my siblings just have a fond memory of, just watching the cartoons as we drove through Crystal City, passing the iconic Popeye statue. So Popeye, again, plays a big part in our childhood, so for it to be a horror movie, it's just kind of like, what the fuck, man? But again, me and my siblings have also grown up with these shitty horror movies, and we just love it. So this is one of those movies that I'm sure my brothers are looking forward to, as well as my sisters, and I can't wait to hear their thoughts on these movies. So, but with that being said, guys, look out for more news when it comes to these movies. I will surely be keeping you updated on that. That's gonna be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit the bell so that we get notified every time I post a video, and subscribe so that way we can get this channel to 1,000 subscribers, hopefully by the summer, and we can get the ball rolling with more content, because that is the plan, that is the dream. We will get there. So thank you to everybody who has been subscribing, and thank you to everybody who has been checking my stuff out and has been liking my videos. That's very amazing of you, and I'm very appreciative of that. You have no idea. Keep doing what you're doing, guys. Stay awesome, stay dreadful, stay dreaded, stay spooked. I'm just trying to come up with a new outro. Yeah, but I don't know. I'll catch you on the next one. Later. Popeye the Slayer, man. What the fuck?